Christy Simpson. You might know me from such blogs as D at 8 a.m. And here today I'm out at Samson Island to film our first live D at 8 a.m. blog, and it's a little bit after 8 a.m., but sue me. I'm here with the lovely David Simpson.
Hi.
But right now I'm going to take you out on a short walk through Samson Island, and we're going to learn a little bit about what's out here on Samson Island. So let's take a look at Samson Island instead of me for a bit. There's a lot of cool stuff out here. And the first thing we're going to take a look at is up here. And if you look at the bark of this tree, you'll see that it's kind of peeling. And that's because, well, let me read you a little poem about why it looks like it's peeling. This is the Gumbo Limbo, also known as the tourist tree, because its thin peeling bark resembles a tourist who forgot sunscreen. It's kind of gross, but it's kind of cool. Look at that peeling bark there. It looks just like a bad sunbird. Okay, so let's take a walk a little further out here. I know there's other wicked cool stuff out here. Now, Samson Island is a very cool little park. You can see we've got benches, and you can see a little bit of the hurricane damage here. They've cleaned up quite a bit of it already, but it takes some time to get over the hurricane damage. Okay, now coming up here, we're coming up on one of my favorite critters here in Florida. Let's take a look real close down here. And this is the work of an antlion. He builds a trap just for ants. The antlion waits patiently for clumsy prey who slide down the hill and want to escape but can't. Now, as opposed to an anthill, which ants can easily climb, because the sand is harder packed than the loose slope made by the antlion. So here you can see all these ants, and they're doing perfectly fine climbing up their hill. But they can't get out of the antlion trap because the sand is loosely packed here, and the ants fall down and they get eaten. And the antlion's pretty smart. Clearly he's built his nest right by the, he's built his little antlion mound right by the ant's nest. So that's a pretty cool critter here in Florida. That's one of my favorite guys. And this is one of my favorite plants here in Florida. This is the sea grape. Notice how huge this leaf is compared to my finger here. It's a big, big plant. And they actually do produce grapes that are edible, and you can use them for jelly and wine and so forth. I'm coming out into the more sandy scrub area here. I have lots of oaks out here. And the cool thing about antlions is once you've seen them, you'll notice them everywhere on the ground here. Okay, now coming up here, got another neat little plant. Now if you read my blog, you might have read about this one a while back. Let me tell you about it again in case you've forgotten about it. Okay. So this is the Madagascar Periwinkle. It can self-pollinate or be pollinated by bugs. It contains many toxic alkaloids, which are used in cancer-fighting drugs. And if you read my blog, if you go back to, I think it's October of last year, you'll see a pink Madagascar Periwinkle. And it's the same plant as this one. This is just a different color morph. So it's a cool plant, very pretty. And there's always all kinds of really cool things to see out here. Ooh, look at this. I don't have a poem about this one, but this is known as the red salvia. It's one of my favorite plants out here. It's this little tiny one, just like a little burst of red fiery plant out here in the middle of nowhere. Very cool little plant. I like that one a lot. Oh, some pretty view, but don't see any bugs at the moment. You can hear the Boy Scouts over there. Okay. Ooh! See this? Get it in the camera. That's Bobcat Poop. You can tell it's not like dog poop because it's got a lot of hair and stuff in it. Oh my. This bobcat must have eaten a lot for dinner last night. Here's more Bobcat Poop. A lot of Bobcat Poop. I don't know where the bobcat is, but it's going to be around somewhere. See if we can find us some Cypress knees. There's another sea grape. And more sea grape. They don't have any grapes on them right now. They're just sea grape leaves right now, but they're pretty. Okay. And here we go. These here, these things that stick up out of the ground, these are how that's how the cypress breathes. Those are called cypress knees. And this is some cypress back here. Looks kind of like might be some kind of, looks like kind of like a pine tree a little bit. Has very different bark though. And you got to be careful when you're walking in the woods because they're on the ground a lot and it's really easy to trip over those things. Not that I've ever done that. Okay, and I just happen to be walking through here now. Oh, what do we have here? The Camera Club of Brevard. And who do we have here?
We have Patty Karapi. Hi Dee, how are you?
I'm wonderful.
And this is Cheryl Howard.
Hi Cheryl
Dee,
Howard.
How are you?
Thank you for being my first, you're my actual first guest on my blog.
Okay.
So I have a blog called Dee at 8 a.m. and I post a little poem every day and a picture. And this time I've been walking around the island reading poems about all the things I'm seeing out here. So what are you folks looking at?
Well, we've been waiting we have a nest up here, or a partial nest. And when we first got here, we had a big hawk sitting up there. And we've been hoping it comes back so that you and Dave could help us identify it. We think it's a red shoulder. Somebody thinks it's a harrier. So we were going to get the experts.
Okay, well, did you notice it had a white stripe on its tail?
It had stripes across the tail.
With the northern harrier, you're going to see a very, very bold white stripe on the tail.
No, it's probably then a red shoulder.
Now, these are what we call real cameras.
Yeah.
Is that how long is that lens? 800?
This is 150 to 600.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And what do you got here, Patty?
This is the 150 to 600. She's got the contemporary, I got the sports, so mine weighs more.
Ah, okay. So what's the advantage of the sport lens?
There's a little bit better glass in it. And it's a lot heavier.
Now, does that help you for things that are in motion like birds?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, well, I think we're going to go back and see what other birds we can find and other plants. Thank you very much for being our first official guest star on the blog. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let us know if you find anything good.
I will do that. We'll definitely let you know. Thanks again.
Bye, hon.
Now, let's look at this plant here. This is pretty cool. This is Psychotria nervosa, also known as shiny leaf wild coffee. It's not named that because it contains caffeine, but because its fruit looks like a true coffee bean. There we go. It's a really pretty plant we've got here in Florida, and the birds love this stuff, but I wouldn't recommend eating it personally. It can give you a bad headache. I see another one of my favorite plants coming up here on the right-hand side here. Those of you who read my blog know this one from last October. Now this is known as a Cootie. It's the host plant of the Cootie hairstreak larvae. The caterpillar eats and eats till it's full. Then it becomes a Cootie hairstreak butterfly. And I don't see any eggs or anything on this right now, but as you remember from my blog from last October, if you see little white dots on these, those are the eggs of the hairstreak Cootie butterfly. Well, technically, I guess it's the eggs of the hairstreak Cootie larvae, and then it hatches into a caterpillar, and then it hatches into a butterfly eventually. A cool looking plant. Now let's see who we have up here. This looks like a tour guide type of person. Can you tell us something about this plant you're looking at here?
This is agave, sometimes called sisal. It's a non-native species from Central America and Mexico. Back behind here you see one that's got a fruiting stalk on it. They shoot up that stalk, they have their little flowers and eventually little plantlets that will drop off and form new plants, and then the basal plant will die once that's done, that fruiting process is done.
Now, is this the same agave that you like to have in your coffee in the morning?
I don't know that. It's the one that they, related at least to the one that they make tequila from, but I don't know about the sweetener though.
Cool. Why, thank you, Mr. Simpson.
You're welcome, Mrs. Simpson.
Okay, we've had a great day out here birding at Samson Island and sharing all the nature and stuff out here. And we're going to be heading back on the boat now, and we hope to see you out here at Samson Island again next year. Bye.
Bye.